As many of you know, Seton Hall schools of Comm Arts and Education and Human Services are merging. WSU News has discussed this with Comm Arts and students across campus, but we are now sitting down with the Dean and Assistant Dean of Education to get their side of the story. What changes should we as students be expecting with this upcoming merger?
From the structure view, what changes should the students? They shouldn't actually see much at all out of the College of Ed. We are still going to be a College of Education. The structure will stay the same. You know, if you're unfamiliar with the College of Ed, we have three distinct parts. We have what they call professional psychology, family, and therapy, which is strictly grad. We have education, leadership, management, and policy, which is a graduate part for professional educators. We have a lot of people come in, maybe want to get their master's in education or their doctorate in education. That's that program. And then we have our undergrad program, which is the undergrad ed studies, which is for students undergrad students coming in to become teachers. I think this merger could give us some new creative opportunities of different certification tracks. That's where we are right now on what can we brainstorm to what could we do as new and different opportunities. I have one I just created for our graduate program, Instructional Design and Technology, for a track to use communications, public relations, and branding, and so forth. So that if you come into our master's program, part of our master's program would be 15 credits out of Comm in the arts, PR, branding, marketing, crisis management, different things that we don't have, which Comm in the arts does very well. And so we're looking at different tracks that way.
Well, I think also too, as Dr. Martinelli had alluded to, it'll create more opportunities for students to be able to gain potentially other certifications or credentials that they wouldn't have had necessarily an easy opportunity to do before. And even from an accreditation perspective, a lot of our accrediting bodies within the College of Education already love this interdisciplinary or interprofessional collaboration piece of it.
So what are any more of the benefits students will be seeing by this merger?
Well, I think it can open a door to a whole other area of courses that are available, different faculty. So to explain how education is, you have, I think it's up to 30 credits in education, what they call education. Then you have your Seton Hall University core classes, and then you carry what they call a second major. Traditionally, we have done the second majors in like science, social studies, math, English, social and behavioral sciences, those type of majors. Now, what we could do now, if you look broadly, is take a look at that communications track and create a second major there that would fit in on the undergrad. That would give them a different type of overview. I look at communications as having the opportunity of maybe doing television track to learn how to do the TV, doing social media, which is now, we know that it's everywhere, doing some of the other communication classes that would fit into a professional's portfolio quite well. But as with any change, change is often resisted because we don't like the change. I think if you get together and brainstorm, you're like, oh, I never thought of that. That would be a good fit. I'm looking at the certification. I just printed out the guide for certification for teaching television broadcasting certificate. So I'm going to check with the state and say, can I mash this up with our program? What do we need to do? And if we can do it, then we can do a track of undergrad education with the state certification in television broadcasting, which would be fantastic.
And I was going to say too, one of the things that's nice is that we're all kind of innovators, right? in the college, and we have some amazing faculty, and I'm really excited to see what collaborative opportunities we can create between all the different departments with this merger, and especially on the graduate level too, for our students to be able to really look at ways to collaborate, to do some research, right? Present some unique opportunities at conferences and publish and do scholarly work together. But even on the undergraduate level, a lot of our students are already out in the field, right, in schools and getting those experiences, but thinking about how can we partner up with faculty across the different units to be able to create other unique field experiences and opportunities for individuals.
Another thing students are very concerned about is how will their curriculum change with this merger? Do we have any ideas yet?
So the curriculum for undergraduate education, for the education part, cannot change. We are guided by the state and regulation. So they still have to take all their education classes. And like I said, you're required, I believe it's 30 credits for an education major. So there's a required certain amount of credits to take. So that's not going to change. What can change is what is offered as a second major. Now, it's a great fit for elementary to go into these different changes because we have elementary and secondary, and our elementary also combines with special ed. So for someone that's not into these certifications, you got to remember that if you come in as an elementary major at Seton Hall, which is K through 6, you also get your K through 12 special ed certification. So those are 2 additional certifications. Then they still need the second major. So something like this may give them a minor in communications or other interdisciplinary courses. I look at, some of the other ones may fit really good into a minor in the secondary because, there aren't a lot full-time communications teachers in high school, but it would be nice to have a minor in communications in addition to your teaching area.
There might be ways to be able to, or even I'm thinking just opportunities for guest lecturing, right? Or co-teaching opportunities at both levels might be pretty unique opportunities for our students to kind of hear different philosophies and different ways to be able to communicate and present and work with different populations. So I think there are definitely some unique opportunities there.
One of my adjuncts, who actually is a graduate of your museum studies program out of Comm in the arts, was a graduate out of our secondary program. So she went through the secondary program, got her degree in teaching social studies, was a student teacher of the year finalist, but went on to get her master's in museum studies, got hired. Her path is amazing. She got hired of doing the curriculum for the Newark Museum for kids and students. Then from there, she used her education degree and her museum degree and got a position with PBS writing the curriculum for shows like Clifford the Big Red Dog and other shows. So she would get the scripts. Here's what we're going to do. Now you write the academic curriculum. So education is not just, we look at it as, oh, you'll be in a classroom. Education degree today could be anything.
Yeah, and I think especially too, like what you're wanting, what type of population you're wanting to work with, right? Like especially a lot of our special education, maybe you are wanting to work on the TV side of, maybe interviewing families, and how do you be able to work and ask questions that are sensitive, right? Around working with individuals with disabilities. Like a lot of our foundational special education courses, I could see being a phenomenal fit, and also looking at legalities and rights and ethics, right? Surrounding working with that population. So I think there could be a nice cross section and opportunities, and maybe that's something that could be like a fun opportunity for electives. There's always this hesitation around change, and I think it's one we want to embrace change, as uncomfortable as it may feel or seem, right, in the moment, because we're always kind of used to kind of the status quo or what we're doing. And I think with change comes a lot of opportunities for vision and growth. And I think our students, my message, I think, would be trust us, right? Like trust us in the opportunity to be able to create something really fun and cool and unique, right? That's going to serve you better for the future.
I think a communications degree is an amazing degree, and I also have one, so we'll just let that go. It prepared me for a career in many paths. But as someone who's then later switched into education, which I did as an adult, I learned a lot of not just how to educate, but how to plan, how to construct, how to do what we call in education backward engineering, how to teach, how to get your point across. And those types of courses could be benefit as an elective or a course for an communications major, no matter what field they're in. And we teach working with diverse people. In life, you're going to do a lot of different things. And I know when you're in college as an undergrad, you're worried about what am I going to do when I get out of here? Am I going to get a job? Am I going to make a lot of money? Will I be independently wealthy? And those that become independently wealthy, I say, good for you. But a lot of us have different careers, especially today. And so I think this merger, if we think that way, that we can do different things and we think broadly and mashups can benefit both students. And we just need to literally sit and look at the catalog and talk together and say, where can we fit? What can we do to make it different? Can we, go that way?
Reporting for WSOU News, I'm Veronica Gail.